Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are starting part 1 of our 50 articulation scenario based MCQ series. In this part, I'll cover the first 10 real life workspace scenario and with correct answer and detailed explanation. These questions are very useful for your articulation exams, interview preparation or soft skill improvement. We'll look at situations like working in global teams, handling multicultural communication, giving presentations, and even managing agile meetings. So by the end of this video, you'll know not only the right answers, but also why they are correct and why the others options are wrong. So you'll be fully ready for the exam and also for real workspace situations. So let's get started with question 1. You are assigned to a new global project team with members from Japan, Germany, and Brazil. In the first meeting, you notice that some members prefer to get straight to the point while others start with informal greetings and small talk. What should you do to ensure effective communication? Options are: skip small talk to save time, wait silently until someone talks, adapt your approach based on the cultural preferences of the team members, or speak only when spoken to. So, here in exams like articulation or in real interviews, this type of question checks your intercultural communication skill. So the correct option here is C: adapt your approach based on the cultural preferences of team members. Why? Because when you work in a global team, people come from different culture backgrounds. Some, like Germans, prefer direct communication and getting straight to the point. Others, like Brazilian or Japanese colleagues, may expect a little small talk first to build rapport. So, if you only stick to one style, either skipping small talk or staying silent, you risk making some team members uncomfortable. So, the best practice is to adapt your style depending on the situation and the cultural background in your teammates. So, this shows flexibility, cultural sensitivity, and respect. And also, if questions like this comes in your articulation exam, always choose the answer that highlight adaptability, respect for cultural differences, or effective communication. So in this case, the correct option is C. Next scenario: your team is holding a daily stand-up meeting. One member from a different time zone always joins late and doesn't participate actively. What should be your first course of action? Options are: escalate the issue to HR, remove the member from the meeting, discuss the time conflict and adjust time if necessary. Option D: ignore the behavior. Here, this is very practical situation you will see in remote or global agile teams. The question is testing your ability to handle time zone challenges and team collaboration. So here the correct option is option C: discuss the time conflict and adjust meeting time if necessary. Why? In Agile, daily stand-ups are meant to ensure every member participates and is aligned. So if someone is consistently late, especially from another time zone, it may not be their fault. It could be the meeting timing that clashes with their local schedule. So the best step is to talk to the member, understand the problem, and if possible, adjust the stand-up time so everyone can join actively. So this shows that you are empathetic, collaborative, and solution oriented. Why not other options like A: escalate to HR? This is too early. HR is not needed for timing issue. Remove the member from meetings. So that breaks the team spirit. Exclusion is never the first step. And last, ignore the behavior. If ignored, the problem will continue and affect team productivity. So, like in articulation exam, always choose the answer that shows communication, collaboration, and problem solving, not escalation or ignorance. So here the correct option is option C. Okay, next scenario. During your business presentation to a foreign client, they appear confused when you use idioms like hit the ground running and ballpark figure. How should you adjust your approach? Options are: use clear or universal language, continue using idioms, speak faster, or skip the presentation. So here, in this type of questions, check your intercultural communication skills in professional presentation. So the correct option is option A: use clear universal language. So why? Idioms like hit the ground running or ballpark figure are common in English, but non-native speakers may not understand them. So in global business, clarity is more important than being fancy with the language. By using simple, universal terms, you make sure your message is understood by everyone, regardless of their cultural or language background. So this shows respect, cultural sensitivity, and professionalism in communication. Why not other option? So option B is continue using idioms. So client will remain confused and your message will fail. Speak faster, this would make the confusion worse, not better, and skip the presentation. Avoiding the presentation solves nothing. The issue is in your delivery style, not the meeting itself. So, in articulation exam, if the question is about cross-cultural communication, always pick the answer that focuses on simplicity, clarity, and respect. So here, option A is correct. Next scenario. You are in multicultural meeting. When you ask for feedback, one team member remains silent. What should you interpret this silence as? Options are: they are ignoring you, they agree with everything, cultural difference in expressing opinions. Option D, they are bored. The question is testing your ability to handle multicultural communication styles. So the correct answer here is option C, cultural difference in expressing opinion. Why? In some cultures, people may not openly disagree in meeting out of respect, hierarchy, or communication style. Silence doesn't always mean agreement or disinterest. It could simply be how feedback is expressed. And as a team member or leader, you should create a safe space for them to share views later, maybe one or in writing. So this shows cultural sensitivity and adaptability, which are key in global teams. Okay, so why not other options? They are ignoring you, silence doesn't mean disrespect. Option B, they agree with everything, silence is not agreement, you should always verify. And option D, they are bored. Assuming boredom without context is unfair and inaccurate. So in exam, questions on multicultural teams usually test if you can recognize different cultural norms and respond with empathy and flexibility. So here option C is correct. Next scenario. In your virtual meeting with stakeholders from 3 countries, there is confusion about the meaning of EOD delivery. What is the best way to resolve this? Options are: remove the term entirely, clarify what EOD means for each time zone, ignore the confusion, or cancel the meeting. So this scenario tests your clarity in global communication, especially when working across time zones. So the correct option here is option B, clarify what EOD means for each time zone. Why? EOD means end of time can be mean different times depending on the country. For example, EOD in India, let's say 6 p.m. IST, and EOD in US could be 5 p.m. EST. So without clarification, deadlines may be missed due to different interpretations. So the best solution is to clarify and agree on exact time with time zones so everyone is aligned. So this shows clear communication, proactive problem solving, and respect for global teams. Why not other options? Remove the term entirely, not necessary. The issue is not clarity, not the term itself. And option C, ignore the confusion. Ignoring will cause delays and missed deadlines. Cancel the meeting. Overacting the meeting should continue with clarity. In articulation exam, if the question is about working in global teams, the safest option is usually the one that shows clear clarification and alignment across cultures or time zone. So here option B is correct. Next scenario. You're asked to give an elevator pitch at a networking event. You start explaining your full resume and end up speaking for 5 minutes. What went wrong? Options are: you spoke confidently, you shared too much irrelevant information, you covered all your work, you impressed them with details. So this scenario tests your understanding what an elevator pitch really is. The correct answer is option B, you shared too much irrelevant information. Why? An elevator pitch should last only 30 seconds to 2 minutes, not 5 minutes. The goal is to spark curiosity, not to narrate your full resume. By including irrelevant details, you lose the listener's attention and reduce the impact of your pitch. A good elevator pitch should be short, focused, and highlight your value clearly. Why not other options? You spoke confidently. Confidence is good, but length and relevance matter more. You covered all your work. That's not the purpose of an elevator pitch. It's not a resume summary. And you impress them with details. Overloading with details can confuse or bore the listener. So in articulation exam, questions about elevator pitch focus on brevity, clarity, and relevance. Always choose the option that shows you can summarize value quickly. So here option B is correct. Next scenario, your client from a high context culture like Japan seems offended when you directly reject their proposal. What's the best way to approach such conversation in future? So this scenario is checking your awareness of high context versus low context in communication. We'll see first options. Options are always say yes. Option B is give direct rejection. Use indirect or respectful language when declined. Avoid communicating with them. So as I said, this scenario is checking your awareness of high context versus low context cultures in communication. So the correct answer is option C, used indirect respectful language when declining. So in high context culture like Japan, China, or many Middle Eastern countries, communication is often indirect to preserve harmony and avoid embarrassment. A direct no can be seen as rude or disrespectful. Instead, phrase like "we will need to review this further" or this may be difficult at the moment" are more polite way to decline. This shows cultural sensitivity and adaptability in professional communication. Why not other? Always say yes. Unrealistic and unprofessional. You cannot agree to everything. Option B, give direct rejections. Work in low context culture like Germany or US, but not the high context culture. Option D, avoid communicating with them. Not a solution. Communication is a key in client relationship. So exam tip is here like questions about cultural differences. Usually test if you can adapt your communication style based on the client culture context. So here option C is correct. Next question. You lead a retrospective meeting where the team is hesitant to share negative feedback. What should you do? Options are dismiss the meeting, make a joke to lighten the mood, create a safe, blame-free space for open sharing, or skip the feedback and focus only on action point. So this scenario check your understanding of how to facilitate agile retrospective effectively. The correct option here is option C, create a safe, blame-free space for open sharing. Why? A retrospective is meant to reflect on what went well and what needs to improve. If environment feels unsafe, people will hold back negative feedback and the team won't improve. By encouraging open, blame-free discussion, you allow everyone to speak honestly without fear. So these leads to continuous improvement, stronger trust and better team performance. Why not other options? Dismiss the meeting. Cancelling defeats the purpose of reflection and growth. Option B, make a joke to lighten the mood. Humor can help, but it won't solve the underlying fear of speaking up. And option D, skip feedback and focus only on action point. Action points come after honest feedback. Skipping feedback means missing the root issues. So in exam, always choose the option that shows collaboration, trust building and continuous improvement. So here option C is correct. Next scenario. While mentoring a junior colleague from a different country, you notice they never question your suggestions even when you make deliberate mistake. Why might this happening? So this scenario, let's first check the options. So options are they don't care, they are confused, they agree with everything, or their cultural value hierarchy and avoids challenging authority. So here this scenario is about cultural differences in hierarchy and communication style. So option is option D, their cultural value hierarchy and avoids challenging authority. Why? In many cultures like Japan, India, or some Middle Eastern countries, people are taught to respect authority and avoid direct disagreement with senior. A junior may remain silent or agree outwardly even if they see mistakes, because questioning a mentor could feel disrespectful in their culture. So, as mentor, you should encourage open dialogue and make it clear that feedback is welcome. So, this shows awareness of hierarchy in intercultural communication and helps you build trust with your mentee. Why not other options? They don't care. If they didn't care, they wouldn't actively follow your suggestions. They're confused. Confusion may happen, but consistent silence points to cultural behavior, not misunderstanding, and they agree with everything. Outward agreement doesn't always mean true agreement, it may be politeness. So, in articulation exam, when you see questions about junior, senior, or mentor mentee dynamics, the answer often relates to respect of hierarchy, cultural context, and encouraging openness. So, here options D, their culture values hierarchy and avoid challenging authority, is correct. Next scenario, you are presenting a project update to European client. Your tone is casual and you use slang expressions. A client seems disengaged. What might be the issue? So options are they are tired, they dislike you, your tone was too informal for their culture, and option D, they had technical issues. This scenario is about professional tone and cultural expectation in client communication. So the correct answer is your tone was too informal for their culture, option C. In many European business cultures, especially Germany, Switzerland, and parts of France, clients expect professionalism and a formal tone during meetings. Use slang or being overly casual can come across as unprofessional or disrespectful. Adapting your tone to clients' culture builds trust, credibility, and stronger relationship. So always adjust your communication style to match your audience expectation. Why not other options? They are tired, possible, but the consistent issue is with your delivery style, not their energy level. They dislike you, too personal and not the reason of disengagement, and they had technical issues. If it were technical, they wouldn't specially disengage when you spoke casually. So in articulation exam, if client seems disengaged due to communication style, the correct answer usually involves professionalism, tone, cultural respect, or clarity. So option C is correct. Okay, and that's bring us to the end of part 1 of the 50 articulation scenario based MCQ series. In this video, we covered the first 10 questions with detailed explanations. I hope you found these scenarios helpful for your articulation exam preparation, interviews, and workplace communication skill. Remember, it's not just about knowing the correct answer, but also about understanding the reasoning behind them. So in next video part 2, we'll continue with questions from 11 to 20. So make sure you don't miss it. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe and hit the bell icon so you'll get notified when I upload part 2. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next part.